Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome to our very last episode here in Sosnovka. And as soon as this one is finished, we're going to pack our bags, get on a plane and fly all the way round to New Zealand, where we are starting farming in Water Valley next week. So my question for this week is all about Water Valley, and I would like to know, how would you like me to do buying and leasing of machinery in Water Valley? Do you want me to buy everything, and I mean stick rigidly to buying everything and not lease anything at all on the map whatsoever? Do you want me to lease everything on the map except for a few drivable machines that we use a lot? We've found in Goldcrest Valley that if we try to lease our main tractors, it's simply not profitable. We can't get it to work very well. So I would have to buy a couple of machines. Other than that, we would lease everything. Or, option 3, would you like me to do a combination of the two? Would you like me to buy what I can, but lease things occasionally when we don't have enough funds there and then to buy things? And I am desperately trying to influence the vote this week, because I would very much like you to go for option 3. I don't want option 1. I'm begging you, please don't make me buy everything, because I feel that if we have to buy everything, we're on a map there in Water Valley where there are no fields that are owned by contractors, other farmers that we could do contracting on. And because of that, it means that we're not going to be able to rush off and do a couple of quick jobs to earn money. It's going to be a lot harder for us to actually go and earn some money when we need to buy new machinery. And I think it's going to limit us a lot more as to what we're actually going to be able to do while we're playing the map. So I am begging you, please, 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 don't make me buy everything. Go for option 3. However, it's your vote and it's your game. So if you want to choose that, then by all means you go and do it, because like I said, it's your vote, it's your game. So head into the comment section down below, let us know what you would like to see, and that is what we'll do. So today I'm not going to be following my normal rules of just going to each machine normally. I want to show you what we've got on this map, because anybody that wants to download this after I have finished on it, you'll probably want to see what you've got. So first of all, we'll just take a quick look at what we do have here. We've got the Zeta parked up in the shed. We've got a trailer unit and a slurry tank unit for the IT runner there. There's a roller, a stump grinder, and a couple of mowers there. You've got the butterfly mowers. You've also got a logging trailer right there. That's the standard timber runner there. It's not one with an auto-load script or anything like that. Then we've got the quad bike here. The quad bike we're going to be selling. We're returning this one. We're going to have a bit of a bomb around on this one a little bit later until we flip it upside down. Then we'll return it to the shop. We've got the Massey here, and I've got 4 trailers on. Those 2 trailers directly behind me, the 2 small trailers, I think I'm leasing those. And if I am, those are the only 2 items that we currently have leased on this map. All the other machinery that you see today is stuff that is owned on the map, so that is stuff that you will be able to use. What will we want? So today we need to do some baling, and we're going to try and gather up 16 bales with an Arcusin stacker and go and sell them, just so that we can see how much money we get from those. And we're also going to sell the pallet of wool that we've got down at sheep, so that we can say we've done something with the sheep here in Sosnovka. We won't necessarily do a lot with the sheep in Sosnovka. We will be so we haven't done much with the sheep, but when we get to Water Valley, we're starting out. We're going to go in for sheep first, and we're going to build up other animals. We're going to build up the cattle as well. We don't have pigs there, so anybody that's fed up with pigs, fear not, there will be no pigs in Water Valley. We don't have to worry about them. So let me just come over here and leap back into the combine, and I'll let this one empty out. Sheep, we're just about emptied out, so carry on. There we go. Right, come back round, and I found that this is by far the easiest way to do it. You just unhitch the header and back out, and then you can carry on. So let's just move up here, hitch it on, and put the hired help going, and that one will carry on, and he's just got one more stripe up across the field to do. And that should just finish up this. If we'd fertilised this field, I think we would have gotten a lot more wheat than we have now. Well, actually, if you do everything, you get double the yield, don't you? So, oh yeah, right, I've left the Belarus here. that field has been cultivated, so it's had one lot of manure put on it, or muck, depending where you are in the world. Some people don't actually like me using the word manure, but other places in the world you don't. That's the only one that you know in English, so yeah. The Belarus here, I've left it here so it is ready to start cultivating this field for you. The plough hasn't done a perfect job over through there, but it's done a good enough job, I think. So that's one of the first jobs that you'll be able to do when you get hold of the save game. So you've got that one there. You've got the Kirovitz here with the plough on the back still. I don't know whether you'd want to keep using this one or not. I feel it's a good one for the map, though. It's a Russian machine here in an Eastern European map. I think it's a perfect addition for this map. Here at the cattle, now at the moment in the cattle you've got, let me just show you, 0 straw, 0 silage and hay now, 18 left, and 0 power food. You've got some grass, there is a little bit of silage left in the clamp, the other side of the cattle over there, and we've got a small pile of grass that I stockpiled there because I didn't have time to do anything else with it. Now I said I don't normally like to do that, but that is there, so you can put that in for the cattle as and when you want to. Up here at the pigs, we've got the conveyor belts over there into the manure pile so that you can load up your muck spreader if you want to. The muck spreader is back at the main yard still. You've got a small stockpile of sugar beet the other side, and there's a few bales there as well. So you do have stuff here for the pigs. And then back in storage, when we've got the trailer loads of wheat now on the trailer, plus you've got some corn in storage as well. The only thing that you don't have a lot of at the moment is canola, sunflowers and soybeans. However, you've got 2 fields of canola waiting to be harvested, so you've got those ready to go. The sheep don't have any cleaning robot down there. It's not something we've done. We'll be driving this one down to the sheep shortly, but we're not going to do it yet. And then we're back to the combine, and this one has just about finished. I'm not going to worry. I think we'll just sort of move this one out of the way in a little while. So let me just go back through. I want the tractor. Actually, I'm going to leave these trailers up here. If I move the trailers up to the end of the field a bit, then we can get that baler on and we can start doing a bit of baling. So, yeah, I don't normally go flicking between the different machines like that. But I am today because it's our very, very final episode. And we don't have... well, we're never coming back. This is it. It's the end of an era, ladies and gentlemen. The end of an era. While we get this one... There's Helper J. The combining has finished. So while we're getting this one hitched up and sorted out, Jamie O'Connell has... he's put on quite a few comments and had various discussions about different things. And he has recently conducted a test regarding grass and fertilizer. And he done a very extensive test on the field in Goldcrest. I think it was field 12, the one directly up from the farm. It's directly west from the actual farm, that field there. You got the 3 that... Do you start with 3? Yeah, you start with the 3. It's the one in the middle. So let me just unfold the baler. There we go. Oh, cool. It actually hooks the chains up on there. That is a really awesome little bit of animation there. That's fantastic. I'm really impressed with that. It's such a tiny little detail, but that is very, very impressive. So yes, Jamie O'Connell has been doing a bit of work on the grass and seeing what can be done with it. And he has found out that the grass... Some people didn't think that fertilizer would make a difference, and some people have thought that fertilizer does make a difference to grass. Some people are absolutely adamant that they've tested it and it makes no difference whatsoever to grass. So he decided to conduct an experiment to find out once and for all just what difference it makes. And once you have planted a field, when you mow it, it goes to fertilizer stage 1. And you can never get a grass field below fertilizer stage 1. Right, that's the first point to sort of point out. But fertilizer stage 1, you cut the field and it stays at that stage, and you get a certain amount of yield. And then you go fertilizer stage 2, cut it, you get more yield. Fertilizer stage 3, it's almost double what fertilizer stage 1 is. So you do get an increased yield in your fields. Now I can't remember what the exact numbers were. I didn't write them down. But he conducted the test several times and allowing for a margin of error. You get a significant increase if you fertilize properly all the way through. He tried different types of fertilizer. He tried granules, he tried slurry, he tried spraying. all with the same results. Also weeding, he did weeding as well, that one worked. So yeah, a field of planted grass does increase its yield if you use if you put fertilizer on it. So we can now say, we can put that argument to bed. It's completely settled. The results are in. Jamie O'Connell, thank you very much for taking the time to do that. It must have taken quite a bit of time, because he did run the test several times and carefully calculated all of the yield that he got from the field each time that he did it. So yeah, it must have taken a little while to do that test. So I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for doing that. I really do appreciate it. And we can now say with certainty that fertilizing is definitely worth it on a grass field. Right, we're doing a bit of baling. We'll run down one of those bigger lines next. I'm going up here. I've just got, so this is like the original one. And can you see the knotters in here? Does it? It does. Did that just do it? Right, hang on. Let's just see. When it comes up full, just watch the knotters here. And here we go. 4,000. Still on the right place. There we go. I didn't watch. Right, we'll try this in a minute. That's the knotters there, by the way. For those of you who aren't familiar with bales and balers, those are knotters right in there. And what they do is it's a little. The way that the machine works is, you got these great big needles underneath, and they pull the string up to those knotters there. I don't know if they're working or not. They're doing something. Oops, I'm drifting now. Drifting in a tractor. Can you see? Oh yes, here's the needles underneath. You can see those. Now, let me just stop so that I can sort of explain this properly. So here we go. You've got the straw comes in at the front, and this is why I'm really grateful to this camera mod. So it's picked up by the pickup reel there, and it goes into the front, and it's sort of compressed a little bit by that auger. It sort of spins around, and that pushes it towards the middle. You get a middle line. It then goes through a set of knives which break it up a little bit. They cut it a bit. Now, not all balers have knives. Some of them don't use the knives at all. Some of them do. And it then runs into this compression chamber. It kind of compresses it a little bit. And you see this thing on the top. That's kind of, it's got like forks on it. That grabs the straw and pushes it up. You don't get straw in this area that you can see here. The straw just comes up in this narrow chute. It's kind of wide but compressed. It gets squashed into there, and then it gets pushed up, and it comes up into this chamber here. And where it actually comes up, can you see where the ram, that big thing there, that is the ram, and that is the bit that pounds back and forth and shoves the bale back out. And it works at very high pressure, and you can just see as the ram goes forward, you can see the spikes coming up, and that's lifting the straw up. So the straw comes up that little chute that we were looking at. Up there, it comes up through there and comes into this chamber here, just in front of where the ram comes up, and then the ram grabs the straw and that pushes it further back. So right now we're actually inside the bale, and you can see from the ram that it is coming up. And if you come forward a bit, you can just see little bits of straw coming up through there actually. So there's even animation inside this thing. It's fantastic, absolutely brilliant. That great big lump of iron there is actually the flywheel. That should be spinning really fast. That's joined directly onto the PTO shaft. Comes up there, up that piece there, and onto that great big flywheel. And everything else is run off of that. It's on a gearbox. It comes back, and you can see the gearbox there. It's running the ram, and then other bits come off of it to power the rest of this machinery down here. That flywheel weighs an awful lot. I think they're normally around about half a ton. It's just a great big chunk of steel that spins around really fast, and that helps keep the ram moving, because obviously when the ram comes back and it's compressing the straw at the end of the stroke there, it puts a bit of strain onto the tractor. And when the tractor's going along, you can actually hear the ram on the revs on the engine. It's sort of going along, it's going like that. And every time it dips in revs, that's when the ram is coming back. And newer balers, they're better at running the gearing and everything, so you don't get quite so much strain on the engine. But the bigger balers, these types of balers, they're pushing out what's a quadrant-sized bale. Now, a quadrant is actually the class baler. but they seem to be like a standard size almost, and there's a lot of balers now that produce bales at that size. And this is a quadrant size bale that we've got here. And once you go to a bigger baler, you get Heston balers. Now, I can't remember which ones it is. I think it's the ARM team have produced the Extreme Baling mod pack. And basically they've done a load of balers with, that are Heston balers. They're bigger balers. And they're nearly twice the bales are nearly twice the size of these. Same length and same width, but they're nearly twice the height. So much bigger baler. Now those, when the ram is coming back on those balers, that really does make the revs jump up and down on the tractor. In real life, when you're operating one of those, that really pushes the revs up and down on the tractor. It's fantastic fun. Great fun driving them. But when you spend all day driving them, you get used to the rhythm of that ram moving back and forth, and you even find yourself thinking in time to that rhythm, and you can't get rid of it. So if you spend a month driving a baler, that rhythm is kind of ingrained into your body for weeks afterwards, and it's yeah. I don't know if anybody else ever sort of has that, but I know I certainly have in the past. You spend 6 weeks driving one of these balers, and everything you do is sort of in time with the strokes of a ram on the baler. It's kind of bizarre, it really is. It's not something that you would normally expect. So there you go, that's how a baler works and how it does. Oh, and I haven't actually said about the knotters. And then obviously once the knotters, once the baler has they're going all over the place again. Once the baler has reached a certain point, these needles here, there's actually string in the end of the needles, and can I just see them just right there? We go right on the end there. They've actually usually got like a bit more of a point on it, so it does go up quite comfortably, but there's string on the ends of those. And once the bale has reached a set point, the knotter comes up. Those needles, they go right up through there, and they come up and they connect with those knotters there. And the knotter will grab the piece of string from the needle, and it ties a knot in it, and then the needle drops back down, and it basically cuts. It ties a knot in it and it cuts it, and the needle goes back down with the string to start the next bale, and then the knotters, they release the knots as well, and then you've got a bale here that's complete. And the knotters, the timing for the knotters, you know when it's time to go up, is all done on this little star wheel here. This is a very important device. You see this on the back, you'd think, oh, you'd kind of dismiss that, but it's not. That star wheel, as the bale is pushed out past it, it rotates that, and it lifts up a little tiny little, like a trip hammer almost. And it lifts it up and lifts it up and lifts it up on a ratchet. And then when it reaches the top, it drops back down. And that is the bale complete. And as soon as that drops back down, that actually triggers the whole knotting mechanism. And then when the ram is at full stroke forward, not back, but once it goes there, the knotters, they come up and tie the knot and drop back down in the time it takes for the ram to retreat and then come back up again. Occasionally something will go horribly wrong and the knotter or the needle won't retract properly, and then you bail up a needle or you bail up a whole bank of needles. That's a bad thing. You don't want that to happen. But I have seen it happen on some older balers where the timing has not been quite right, or something is not timing out or something like that. Yeah, generally it's bad things start to happen then. So that's something that you don't want. Now then, we have the thing with the new balers though is you can sort of bale up quite thin straw, and it does it really well. And older balers, you tended to find that you had to keep a very even sweep of straw going into the bales. Now I don't know, I think I've mentioned this before, but what you had to do, if you had a thin load of straw, you had to drive with 3 ram strokes on this side of the line of straw, then you had to come over and you do 3 ram strokes on this side of the straw, and then come back again, and you had to get that absolutely perfect, because if you didn't, you ended up with a lot of straw on one side of the bale and not enough straw on the other side of the bale, and then when they're lying in the field, they come out kind of banana shaped, because you've got all the straw on one side and the string is done up tight, and it squeezes it and it twists the bale slightly, and then you've got banana bales. This is not a good thing to have. You don't want banana shaped bales. Banana shaped bales are very bad. But I think we've done enough bales here, so we'll just get to the end of the row. I need to run back up to the dealership, and I need to get the Arcusin, because we did say we were going to sell 16 bales. So what we're going to do is I'm going to absolutely cheat. I'm going to leave this baler right here, and I will unhitch it there, and I will drive forward a little bit, and I will unhitch the weight right there. And so when you come to the save game, you've got the weight and you've got the baler right there. It's ready for you to use. What we're going to do is we're going to go back through to here, and we're going to go to our Massey Ferguson, and we're going to reset that one. Yes, we do. Okay. And see, this is what goes on behind the scenes. All right. No, I don't want to go there. I want to go to the dealership. Visit. Should be a tractor. There we go. This is what goes on behind the scenes. Sometimes I have to reset stuff, I move it around the map and I jump around. And today, as it's the last episode, I thought I would show you some of the things that I have to do in order to keep things moving quickly, and also because it saves a bit of time. And yes, I do play as realistically as I can, but occasionally you do have to cut corners and do things a little bit quicker, just in the name of expediency and keeping things moving forward. And I'm very careful that I don't do any of this bit on screen. I always try to keep realism, and even when I'm off screen I still follow road law. And come around here, right, so I still keep my beacons on just in case I decide that I want to add a little bit in. And several people have been asking, how do you make the videos? So I thought today, as well as being our final episode, I would sort of give a little instructional on what I do when I'm making the video. So I'll be driving along. I'll go along. That's why I follow the road laws, and I do it as realistically as possible at all times, because I'm coming along, right? And I'm not talking, I'm just taking it back, getting ready to do the next section of the video, and I see something interesting. So we're just driving along like this, and then suddenly go, oh, look at that. See, right there, you got the electric substation. Now, it's not particularly interesting, but, you know, it's just an example. And so I can point it out, and I can talk about it, and then I can stop talking, and I can carry right on again. And it looks... That's how we get the appearance of it all being realistic, because I do drive and I act very realistic throughout the entire thing, whether I'm recording or not. I occasionally do things like reset a vehicle to the shop just to speed things up a little bit, but generally I keep it all as realistic as possible so that I can sort of cut in and do things if I want to. So that's how it gets done behind the scenes. Now, I suppose really we should have a front weight for this, because once it gets loaded up you do need the front weight. I have found that you can drive sideways with this one and you can pick the bale up at any angle, but I found that the best way to do this is actually just to run up and down in the same direction of the baler. And in real life that is what you do. You don't sort of weave around from one line to the next. You just go bombing up and down the fields where the baler has been, and you're slightly offset from where the baler was. And you'll also find in the game, I'll do it in the next one, I'll speed up a bit and keep going, and the time it takes for that one to lift up, you can't actually put a bale on, but because I'm driving in line with the bales, I can pick them up. Although not that one, it went right over the top of it. That was brilliant. But you get the general idea. So we come round here and carry on with this one. I'm hoping that we'll get our full 16 bales on with just this line here. So we're going to sell these. The rest of the straw we're leaving, so that whoever takes over the map, you've got some straw here available. I did say, actually, I've got to get rid of that Coon baler, don't I? So we will do that. We'll sell the Coon baler, just in case anybody who's downloading the map doesn't have the DLC. Because I know that DLC costs money, so some of you may not have it. So we'll get rid of that baler. You can buy yourselves another one. We got 45,000 euros at the moment, so that you've got sort of scope for getting a bit more money. That should be okay. You've got plenty of wheat in the trailers, so you could just, even if you just like get a little bit more from the pigs, that should keep you going. So we lift that one up, and we'll go running up to the selling point and come up through here. What I might do, actually, we'll leave the Arcusin back here at the yard, and we'll reset this one and the baler and the front weight for the tractor and put them all up at the dealership. And then you've got them there, and you can either then take the baler... I'm just wondering, what happens if you try to load the game without the DLC in it? Will it just be that the baler has disappeared? I'm not quite sure what happens with that. I think it would be better if we did sell it, and so that it's there available, and you haven't got to sort of do anything that you don't want to do. So we tip this one up. You come back up like this. Now it holds it for a minute, and so you can back up wherever you like. It is a good idea to get this thing straightened up first. I mean, I know here it's not going to make any difference, but if you have it straight, then when you pull away, the bits of the trailer that are underneath that are holding the bales, they don't twist as you pull out. So I recommend keeping that in a straight line. But, I mean, we're going to press Y again, it will drop the bales, and they become separate entities. It will sell them all instantly. See? Kaboom. 295 per bale. Not too shabby. So then we press Y, and we let that one lower down. I'll leave the stacker here for you. And you can't turn very sharp with this one. One thing I have noticed with it, so we'll bring that one up here. I don't know if it'll let me unhitch while it's still... Oh, it will. Okay. So let's just reset the machines that we want to reset a minute. So first of all, I'm going to have to bring up that one there so it shows all of the bits and pieces. We've got a front weight here that we want to reset. Okay. We've got a baler here that we want to reset. Yes. Okay. And on the combine, I'm going to actually leave that because I think we're leasing that header. So it's the 2 trailers and the header that we're leasing, I think. We want to reset the Massey Ferguson. Yes. So that's those 3 now back to the shop. And I don't think... Oh, no, there is one more thing that we want to reset. We want to come through here. We're not going to reset the quad bike because we're going to take a little bit of a spin on that one. I'm just coming through here. There's one thing that I want to find. There, that one. That is an external mod. So I'll reset that one up to the shop and we'll sell that one. Let me go back. And now we tab through. If I just move this one out the way, it can be bailed. I'm going to leave this header here so that you guys can make your decision as to whether you use this header or use the new one. Oh, look at that. I didn't actually think of that. When you reset the baler, it drops the 2 bales that are inside it and leaves them where they were. They're right there. Because we didn't empty those out. So let's go through. Right, so we've got the tractor here. We want the tractor. Now, where's the front weight? The front weight is over there. So we want the front weight and we want the tractor. But we don't want the baler. Because the baler is the Kuhn DLC, I think it would be best if we do sell it. And that is one thing that you're going to have to buy if you wish to carry on with the map. We'll just bring this one over. You can always lease a baler if you want to. I will leave the Massey here at the dealership, so it will be easier for you to deal with that. We have just about run out of time, and I haven't yet sold the pallet of wool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over to the Kramer in a second and start driving that down to the sheep so that we can sell it. So let me just unhitch that one there. I'm not going to worry about trying to shove that one back. We'll just sell that one direct. So let me go over to here. Press R. Yes, we want to sell it. 92,000 euros. So you've got enough money there to buy another baler. You can either buy back the Kuhn DLC one if that's the one that you want to use, or you can buy a different one. So let's go to the garage and come into here. So I'm leasing those 2 trailers plus the big New Holland Superflex Draper. Entirely up to you what you do with those. We come through to here and we'll be able to see what mods we've got and what's standard. Most of this is standard game stuff. So that one's a mod. That one is off of the... All of these are off of the mod hub. All of them. Except for that one. And I want to sell that one, yes, for 1,400 euros. There are some trees that we planted up on this map that we haven't dealt with. And that one there is also one that we're going to sell before we finish this series. So the tractor can stay there. And let me switch it off. There we go. That is now ready for you. You can buy any baler you want. Buy the Kuhn DLC one if you've got it, because that's the one that we want on this map, really. But obviously that is entirely up to you. So let me just go back through. There we go. I'm on the Kramer. I will meet you down at the sheep because we've got 2 things that we need to do before we finish up. We need to get to the sheep with this one, and we just turn on the beacon. Which is the fast... Hang on. I don't like having the yellow dots everywhere. I always turn those off on there. Which is the fastest way to get to the sheep. We want to go down here and then cross the river. That is the fastest way, I think. I'll meet you down at the sheep anyway, because we have just about run out of time. We want to quickly sell that pallet and then just have one quick blast around on the quad bike before we go. But just quickly show you, I've taken a shortcut this time. I don't normally. I've gone right up the bank there in a very unrealistic fashion, and it's driving across the grass. Now, the reason I wouldn't normally do that is because if we come back the other way, for whatever reason, and I forget that I came up through there, you'll be able to see the damaged grass, and you'll know that I've taken a cut across there. and that will stand out. I know that there are some quite eagle-eyed viewers, and I have had questions asked about things that I didn't really want asked about quite a long time ago. I no longer do that. I've just gone across there just to give you a quick working demonstration of the things that can show up. So if I was to cut across here, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't normally do that. You would, drive sensibly and carefully and not go cutting across grass and various other bits and pieces. So yeah, that is the reason that I avoid doing that, is so that it doesn't show up. And look at the grass everywhere down here. That is absolutely appalling. So where is the sell point for the wool? It's actually, I thought it was close. It's not close. Where is it? Freight yard, biomass, grain elevator lump, spinnery. Oh, there it is. So we've got to go up that road. So I'll grab this one. We are going to have a slightly longer episode than normal today because it's our final episode. Although I don't want it to go too long. There's no point in you watching me drive all the way up there, but we will take this up. So we have done some sheep on Sosnovka, and we will make a bit of money out of it. Not very much, because, we haven't done anything. But, we're going to try and make a little bit of money. Right, so I want to get onto that road over there. You've got to be careful of the traffic as well. You don't make the traffic stop. You can, if you interrupt the traffic at one point, it can be shown up later on. If you cut across fields in between doing like your bits of recording, that can show up as well later on. So this is all reasons why I actually stick to realistic gameplay, even when I'm not showing it in the recording, when I'm cutting corners. So literally about the only thing I'll do that's not particularly realistic is I will reset machinery to the shop in order to speed things along a little bit. So say I wanted to get this one back to the farm really quickly, I would reset the Kramer and the pallet forks to the shop and then drive it from the shop back to the yard, being careful not to show that I've driven it from the wrong direction, because then that would show up. So yeah, some little secrets and some insights into the actual recording process for you today. And I was just going to drive up here myself, but we're almost there. The garden centre is off to our right, just there. Don't need to worry about that. And there is the spinnery at the top. And where do we say? Oh, that's a silage clamp just into the side there. There are silage clamps all over this map. It's one thing I sort of think it's a little bit weird, because there's so many places you've got silage, but so you don't need all the silage all over the place. So how much do you get? Yeah, so what are you going to do with silage here? What possible use could you have for silage down here, really? And the same with that one up there, and the same with that one over there. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And also that one there, because the sheep don't take silage. You can't put silage in for them. I don't think you can even tip grass in there for the sheep. So I'm not quite sure what all the silage clamps are in aid of. I'm sure they're useful. What was I doing? I was going to just check the price of the wool, see how much we're going to get. The wool is absolutely rock bottom at the moment at €6,500. But anyway, we'll sell it anyway. There we go. Bring that one in, and it doesn't sell it as an instant pallet like it did in FS15. It sells the wool by the litre. So we got, what do we get? €7,594 for our wool. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to leave the Kramer here at the spinnery, so you can drive it between here and the sheep if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Just turn that one off. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to have a bomb around on the quad bike before we go. And once we actually tip this thing over, which probably won't take very long, I have noticed that it's quite top heavy. Once we tip it over, we'll reset it to the shop, sell it, and that'll be it. That will be Sosnovka complete. No more Sosnovka. Let's see what we can get on this one. Excellent. You can have so much fun. Oh, no. See what I mean by top heavy? It's absolutely top heavy. This one tips over more than any other that I have noticed. And there we have Fluffy. I'm assuming that must be Fluffy, because that's what the bike is called. Yeah, right. Let's reset that one. I think we can do a little bit more than that. Go to the flashing beacon where I am and reset. Yes, okay. And then we go up to the dealership. Enter. Right. Where can we go? Try and get a bit of hang time, a bit of air time on this one. I think we'll go over here and see if we can jump through that dealership bit. It's over there a little bit. Right, I'm only driving on the grass. I'm not going to drive in the fields and spoil it for anybody that gets the save game. So my question for this week is, what would you like me to do in Water Valley in regards to buying and leasing? Would you like me to buy everything on the map and never lease any machinery? Would you like me to lease all machinery apart from our main tractors and combines, because we just can't afford to do that? We have already found that it is not profitable to do it like that. Or finally, would you like me to do a combination of the two? Buy when we can afford it, lease when we can't afford it, or we don't think it's worth buying it, and sort of keep a good, healthy mixture of both of them. And once again, I will try to influence you. Please, I'm asking you not to pick option 1. I would rather you didn't, because it's going to make it so much more difficult, because Water Valley does not have any fields that are owned by other people. We own all of the fields, which means it's going to be considerably more difficult to earn money off screen in order to be able to buy machinery. And that is the reason that I don't want to have the buy everything rule. However, it's your vote, it's your game, so head in the comment section down below, let us know what you would like, and don't forget to actually cast your vote up in the top right hand corner, and I will do what you want. Even if you pick the one that I don't want, I will still do it. And over we go, and almost certainly it will end up upside down. Yeah, it always does. This bike is awful for that. Anyway, that is the last of the biking. We didn't actually get very many decent jumps on that one. I was a bit disappointed with that. Reset. Yes. Okay, and go back up to the shop. Let's just enter that one, and we can jump out and jump into the bike. And bring it round. So, yes, this is it. I have gotten rid of the Coon DLC, and I've also gotten rid of the non-Mod Hub mods. Sell that one. Done. And this map is now yours, ladies and gentlemen. This is all yours. We've got the tractors up here, you've got the robot cleaners and various other mods. I will compile a list of mods that are on this map and add them to the description in the save game file, and I will be uploading this save game file to FS UK. It takes a few days for them to look at it and test it and make sure that everything is working as it should. But hopefully it will be okay. So I will do my best to make sure that there is a list of all the mods that I've used, because I've got there is a few mods on here, isn't there? But yeah, most of it we've stuck with vanilla machinery on here. For those of you who want lots of mods, I'll be doing more mods in the next series, because we've done a lot of vanilla stuff here, so now we can sort of start expanding out into mods. But anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.